Okay, let's mark out some levels here on Bitcoin. So I'm on Bitcoin on the weekly and we're going to do this together. So I've currently got my Gantt swings on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out a fib. I'm going to back out a Fibonacci, and what the Gantt swings do is it identifies the lows and the highs depending on what time frame you're on, right? So I'm doing it on the weekly at the moment. So Gantt swings, let's put it on the magnet so it gets it spot on. Click on there all the way to its all-time high, which is this swing here at about 109k, and there we go. Places I'm looking at is the 50% and the 618 and 0.65, the golden ratio, what I call the golden ratio. Yeah, so that's it on the weekly. That low here comes in at about 59k, 59 to 58k, right? But if I throw it on the monthly, you can see it's gotten rid of that area. You can't see it because it was within that same sort of month, and we've got the low here at 48.8. So I'm gonna back out a fib again. And I'm gonna draw a Fibonacci scale from there, from that 48k all the way to 109k. Okay, it does get a bit confusing, but the main things you should be looking at are the 50%, okay, 50% and the 618. What I'm gonna do to make it easier, if I can get my words out, I'm going to change this to, I'm just going to title this as weekly so that we know that that's the weekly one and that this is the monthly one, and then I will neaten it up in a bit. So what we got is the weekly here at 84k. We have the 50% of the monthly on the monthly, which is about 79k. And then I will mark out the monthly 618 here as well. Okay, those are the areas that I've got marked out. I've got alerts on these on my trading view. It's areas that I'll be buying some more Bitcoin. So that's the monthly 0618, but I've written it as 0619, forgive me. And I've also got the Bitcoin trend line support as well. So that's the area I'll be buying as well. So let me mark that off as well. And the reason why I've marked this one off as well is because it aligns roughly with this trend line that's going down. Do I expect Bitcoin to get to this area here, this trend line that we can see going down? I think it's very unlikely, to be honest with you, but I like to have trades that are way down there. So, you know, for those of you that put it down there as well, I'll see you down there. So these are the areas that I'm looking to catch. Let's get those back on. There we go. Those are the areas of interest for me, and it's only Bitcoin for me at this moment. I may take some trades in ETH, but we'll look at that as a separate video. So we've come down here into this area. That's where we are right now, right? That's where we are right now. Let's draw a little box around the monthly 50%. You see how important these 50% are. The monthly 50%, yeah, and it's also the weekly golden ratio. So that's a really interesting point, a significant point of interest. So for those that like to catch falling knives, you know, and occasionally that's me for my trading portfolio, you know, I like to have a macro portfolio, which I don't touch, a trading portfolio and a leverage portfolio. So for this portfolio, I like to catch falling knives. But if you're not like me, don't catch a falling knife and just wait for a breakout. Wait for the change of trend and then jump in after that. Yeah. So that's that. Let's zoom into the daily. Let me zoom into the daily here, bro. Let's zoom into the daily here. And what I will do is have a look at this low here on Friday, the 28th of Feb, which put in a massive low. Let's have a look at the volume on that. Huge volume here as well. Huge volume, things that I like to see. But also, this low in comparison to the low that we've got today is lower. It's lower. And you know, any of you that know, that follow my channel, I like to have my RSIs on. So let's get that on. So you can see that the RSI is higher though on these two lows. Okay, the RSI today is slightly higher, and that's what we call some bullish RSI divergence. So for those of you that want to take a trade right now, now could be the time for you to get in, because I'm getting in at the moment. I am getting in, and I like my odds. But we have to be careful, right? Because there are some resistance points ahead of us. So like we got 84k here, we've got 88k here, and we've also got this trend line here as well. So this area is a significant resistance point for me, and it's where one of my profit levels will be. I probably won't take profits at this 50%. I will hold, and if it stops me out, it stops me out and I take a loss. But I will take some profits up here if it ever gets there. So that's my strategy for the moment. These two lows as well. The interesting thing about these two lows, where's my thing gone? Yeah, there we go. Bring up my indicators again. The interesting thing about these two lows, the interesting thing about these two lows on the daily, the 28th of Feb that I mentioned a little while ago, and then today's low, apart from the bullish RSI divergence, but the fear and greed as well, right? We've got some divergences on the fear and greed. So that 28th of Feb, the fear was at 10, so we was in extreme fear, but today it's at 24, so that's quite interesting. We've got some divergences there as well. That combined with the volume makes the case for quite a good potential, not necessarily a reversal, but you know, a bounce at least. So let's see how that unfolds really. Also, if I fling it onto the weekly, here, let's get rid of my RSI, let's give ourselves a bit of space. If I look at the weekly, you've got a WD GAN rule which talks about 7 to 10 bars being an area which might cause at least a pause in the market or reversal, and we're currently on the 7th bar, right? The 7th week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're in the week right here. In fact, if I was to count this one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on the 7th week here of down weeks. So and it's 7 to 10 weeks, right? So it might go down a bit lower, but it's worth putting on a bet here. That combined with everything I said, it's not a bad place to start either DCAing or putting on a leverage long, or doing something, doing some moving around, some buying in that second portfolio, right? So that's the plan. We're in March now as well. WD GAN talks about seasonal dates and the solstice, and you know, he mentions March the 21st. I don't think you should use these exact dates, but it's something to keep in mind for a potential low coming in. A potential low coming in. So that's something to keep in mind as well. The RSI, let's have a look at the RSI because I just took that off. The RSI on the daily, we're at very low levels. We were at very low levels, particularly on that 28th of Feb day, and we haven't been at these levels since, like, when was the last time we were at these levels? My goodness, all the way back here in 2023. August of 2023. What were we doing in August 2023? We were in this consolidation area, weren't we? We were in that consolidation area where we was going sideways for a while. We was in there for quite some time, and so it's just looking, if you're hoping for a reversal or at least a bounce, I think now's the time to sort of be doing it really. You should have had your limit orders here. It got me in on limit, but yeah, you do you really. I've got some orders, as I mentioned, at 618, 72k, and the 64k as well. I've got my alert set up so it will ping me on my phone to let me know if I'm in or when Bitcoin gets to those sort of levels, and that's what I'm doing for the moment. USDT dominance, let's have a look at USDT dominance because it's sort of inversely correlated to Bitcoin, and I do track it. For those of you following my channel, you know that a while back in November when I drew this curved resistance level right here, and we had a few touch points on that, particularly here, second point here, third point there. I remember this one was the significant one where I started to draw this out, and I said if we get down to this level, I'm going to start selling, and that's what we did, right? That's what I did. However, I didn't sell everything. Let's put on, you know what we're going to do? Let's put on the Bitcoin chart, new price to scale, and you can see it. So you can see from this point here, resistance. Okay, remember it's inversely correlated to Bitcoin, so you can see from that point, that's the low here on Bitcoin. The USDT dominance came down, people fleeing out of USDT, and then Bitcoin skyrocketed. And so I think I sold some of my Bitcoin here and that was at about 87, I believe, around this point here. And then we broke down even further, and we had this bar drawn, this horizontal support level drawn, and I was definitely selling some more when we got down here. So that was an interesting point. It was an interesting point. I managed to sell quite a bit. Is it premature for me to buy right now? Well, we're at resistance. Look, we're at resistance. Look where we are right now. The weekly swing support and resistance level, which is right here. So yeah, that's my strategy. But then again, what do I know?